What's going on, guys? We're back and I'm excited to be here with you guys. Of course, we're doing longer videos once again, so hopefully you guys are ready for that. Thank you for watching and all the short form content that you've watched. The views are up, subscribers are up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now if you haven't already. We have 30,000 subscribers already. So we're going to cover some games that I played in the past that we were supposed to get to, but we didn't. We were kind of busy streaming and doing all kind of chessable courses and working, right, and doing all kind of chess work. So now we're back. We're going to cover some of these games we were supposed to cover in the past, where we do series and we kind of put them in playlists so you guys can watch and learn from it. So this one was the Edmar Mednis tournament. I actually had a pretty good tournament here. I gained points in my last two tournaments that I played in, which was very nice. So Edmar Mednis Memorial, in fact, is what this one's called at the Elite Chess Center. Actually, it was by Elite Chess in Nebraska. In fact, this is round 4, so I'll put the playlist together for you guys to see rounds 1, 2, and 3 as well, and I'll link it in the description. But so let's get into this game. I played white against FM Eugene Yanit here, and here we go. So this is in fact, this is called the Jar Jar Binks London. This is one of the very few times, in fact, first times I actually employed just kind of Jobava London a lot, almost every game with white, and I'll show you guys what I mean here. Except obviously maybe round 2, I think, or round 2 when I didn't play Jobava London because of who I played. You'll see that in the playlist and stuff like that, and go back and look at round 2 to see what I played with white. But here I decided, I'm like, you know what, let's play this Jar Jar Binks London, aka the Jobava London, where I have a chessable course on right now. When it's a very, very big selling course. I'm not even gonna lie, still getting paid out here in August of 2024, and it dropped in December. Shout out to all of you who got the Jobava London course, and we linked that, of course, in the description as well. So getting to the game, I'm playing Jobava London, right? So we're gonna keep it short and not too long. So d4, knight f6, and then knight c3 and d5 and bishop f4. Very confident. You know, I'm building a course out. It took me like 9 months to make the course. So, you know, I'm like, I'm just gonna play it against whoever. I don't even care, right? So play bishop f4, and then what happens is he goes with the e6 line. Now, there's 2 ways to play it. You have knight to b5 and the e3 line. So in my course, I give e3, but I also do like the knight b5. I dabble with both, in fact. So after e3, bishop e7, and this one actually is not covered really kind of anywhere. This one's just a weird one. Like bishop e7, I rarely ever have faced in my life, but it can actually transpose into some of the c5 lines where the bishop actually takes. On c5, I was used to seeing bishop d6 or really any other move than bishop e7. So Engine recommends a cool move here, g4 for the score, baby. Okay, I love that g4 stuff. But in fact, instead of going g4, I went with bishop d3, which is just a very, very natural move. So after bishop d3, he goes c5. So I'm like, oh, cool. You know, after c5, I actually thought we were going to, you know, go into a line that I've seen before with d takes c5. So I take the pawn, d takes c5. He goes knight to c6, which kind of threw me off a little bit. I thought he was going to go bishop takes c5, but he went with the knight c6 idea, which is totally fine. So knight to c6, I go knight f3, I develop my pieces. He goes knight d7. This one actually threw me off, and I'm like, oh, I kind of messed this up. That's how I knew. I played differently here, because this knight to d7 move, it's just different. I'm not used to this, never kind of seen it. So in future references, you know, if I'm ever facing this, I am going to play the g4 move. I also want to hear the sound effects, because I forgot, you know, we got the buttons here. I haven't done these in a while. Hold up. Yeah, okay, hold on, I got the button. Let me put my headphones on. So, all right, so now as I put some of these buttons later for you guys. So, okay, bishop back to g3, and when the bishop moves back to g3, I do this because he's actually threatening e5 too as well, which is kind of a slick move. He's threatening knight takes c5, but he's also threatening e5 and e4, which I lose on the spot. So if I do something crazy like castles, you know, there could be a problem with e5. In fact, Engine says I could play e5. What happens on here? Bishop g3. What happens on e4? Knight takes d5. This is sick. Okay, I'm actually learning this as you guys are. And it's completely winning for white after bishop to c7. Wow. Well, didn't see that one, unfortunately. So I played bishop g3, which is very natural, because like I just want to get out of the way and not allow this, but I could have just castled. So, and he probably would have went for that. Knight takes c5. After this knight takes c5 move, I remember thinking for a while and sitting here and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I was like, this is not the Jobava I was looking for. It's not as aggressive, but I still can play, you know, chess here. It's sort of like a French, right? Where you see the bishop behind the pawn chain, the bad bishop that is, on c8. So knight to b5 is a move with knight c7 ideas. And this is actually what the Engine recommends. I went with a move that I'm used to playing in just Jobava London territory, period, which is, of course, you can actually pause the video. I'll give you a few seconds to think about what the move is here with white. What do you think I would play, or what do you think you should play here? The move actually is In fact, you have a bunch of them, castles, you know, and knight b5 and rook b1. Rook b1's weird. That's just an engine move. I played e4 though, e4, which of course, yeah, engine doesn't like it as much. And we had a brilliant move in here somewhere, but it's funny that like this, they don't show that, you know. I'm going to tell you what that is later. But after e4, they like d4 from black here, which of course, I mean, I'm totally fine. I get castled. I move the knight, play f4. Very practical game, but he takes on e4, which is very practical, thinking I'm going to take with the knight. Now, if I take with the knight, I mean, it's not going to be a good knight. After knight takes and takes, and my structure looks really nasty here. This is just not fun. I'm not trying to play this. My light square bishop is gone, which is one of the key pieces in attacking this side of the board, right? So I actually took with the bishop here, which is weird, right? Why would I take with the bishop? Because if queen takes d1, rook takes d1, and then knight takes e4, knight takes, I just get to take over this d6 square for later. That's going to be annoying. I can castle, probably double the rooks at some point. So this was my whole idea around, you know, bishop takes e4. He doesn't take on e4 though, or d3, or e4. He actually goes with queen b6. So he doesn't want to trade queens. He wants to keep some pressure on my side of the board with queen takes b2. So I go with an easy move, rook to b1. Engine didn't like it. They say bishop takes knight is first. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So I just played rook to b1 to defend the b2 pawn, very human-like. He castles. I do the same. We castle as well. Rook d8, natural move, hits the queen. I get it off the line. Queen e2. Then he goes bishop d7. Now, after the bishop d7 move, I want you to try to find a move here and figure out what did I play in this position. I think this was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I was a fan of this move here. And this maneuver that I used, in fact, I thought it was pretty sweet. But I actually played a few moves first. In fact, so I went with bishop to d5. In fact, so bishop d5 is the move I chose because if pawn takes, there's knight takes d5. With this type of idea. It's pretty cool, right? Bishop to d5. I was looking around too, like, what do I do? I actually just kind of found it. I was like, oh, I could go bishop d5. Right. Very weird, but why would I do this? It's because I don't want him to take now that his pieces are all kind of coordinated. He has his pieces developed, the rooks are connected, right? I don't really want him to snatch the bishop. I can't go to d3. The Greek gift doesn't work, but I found bishop d5. So I get to steal a pawn here with knight takes d5 and take on e7 with check. So pretty nice. Now, after bishop d5, he goes bishop e8. Obviously, now this is being captured. So I move it again. I move this bishop to d3, to e4, to d5, to c4. Don't try this at home. So after bishop c4, he goes knight to a5. And then he's attacking the bishop again. So I move the bishop again. Guys, this is ridiculous. Don't try this at home. Look at the route this bishop has taken. Feels like the bishop moves one square at a time, except from the first move, like a pawn. Like, oh man, that's funny. That's kind of funny. But so this is the bishop's route. But okay, I go bishop b5. Everything's fine. Now I have ideas of this b4 type of idea as well right now. So he needs to be careful. So what does he go with? He goes with knight a6 here, which is inaccuracy. And just said knight c6 was better. But as a human, it's hard to play a move where you go knight a5, where you move a piece and then moving it directly back. This is usually just not something that you're used to doing or liking to do. So he goes knight a6. So after the knight a6 move, now I strike with bishop takes e8 first, and after rook takes, then we go b4. So this b4 move, if you capture with any piece, I'm going a3, which is the idea here to really kind of, use the pin. So now after b4, queen goes over to c6, attacking my knight. The best defense is offense. And I thought for a while here, trying to figure out what do I do? What do I do? I didn't find the engine's best sequence here. I actually looked in post-game analysis, just trying to figure out, what does the engine want to do here? I went with more of a human-like aspect to this. And I was calculating, looking at all kind of lines. Pause the video, see if you can find an engine suggestion. What do you think it is? You can even put it in the comments under the video, or you can sit here and kind of just wait until we get you the answer. But there's a few ideas. We have obviously b takes a, we have b5, then b takes a6. And, there's some other ideas too as well. But the idea is he's going to take my knight if I, do something with one of his knights. And I don't want to just move my knight because now b4 is actually hanging because there's no pin anymore. So let's say I move like knight e4. When knight takes b4, there is no more pin on the queen. So that is the whole idea. Not only, attacking my knight, but also being able to do other stuff. Engine says I can even take this. Bro, this is crazy. What? Engine says take this? Man, this is insane. Oh my goodness. This is a family channel, bro. What? Bruh. So, okay, g takes. It said knight f6 was brilliant. Queen g4. Or what if king f8? Queen takes b4. Wow, this is wicked. And then what about king here? Knight g6. Oh, yeah, you take the queen. Bro, that is sick. Well, I wasn't doing that one, and if I get reported, it totally makes sense. If he reports me, I would report myself if that happened. Like, that's crazy. That is insane. So, didn't find that one. But Engine says first move or best move they recommended here was bishop to e5. I didn't like this because of f6. But after f6, apparently this is the sequence they give, b5. Something with queen c4, and then queen takes, knight takes, and then, you know, you get the sequence where, like, you're just better in the endgame here. F takes, and, like, you know, this is we're just better here. Apparently, it's still very playable, but we are better. I didn't like this though. I wanted to really kind of force things and make things a little bit more concrete. I played something a little bit different. Let's see if you got this right. I actually played b5. Sorry, I played whoa. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so I played b5 here. Actually, no, sorry, I played b takes a5. Not b5 yet. For some reason, I thought I played b5, but b takes a5 is the move, and then queen takes c3 takes the knight. After queen takes c3, we follow up with rook takes b7. Yeah, this is what I played. And in calculations here, I was saying, okay, well, he can play queen takes a5, or he can move the knight away. If queen takes a5 here, I'm going to go knight e5, and this is going to be super annoying. Now I have ideas of stuff like maybe queen h5 or queen f3. I even have knight c6 coming. The knight looks a little weird. There are problems, right? So after rook takes b7, again, look at that sequence. B takes a5. He takes because he has to take his piece back. I take rook takes b7. After rook takes, he goes knight c5. Very logical move. Knight takes rook is coming. And now here's the brilliant move I played here in the game. Let's see if you can find it. It's weirdly enough in analysis here. It calls it a brilliant move in the the analysis bar and all that stuff, but it doesn't show on the board as it shows like the inaccuracies and all that other stuff. Ridiculous, but it won't, you know, they won't give us our brilliant moves, but it is a brilliant move here. So let's see if you can find said brilliant move. What is it, young Jedi? What is that move? White to move. What did I play in this position? And that move is, pause the video if you want to try to check it yourself. Queen takes e6. Psych! I played a6. I played a6. Queen takes e6 is not. They're like, bro, what? You didn't play no queen. Oh, that was funny. Okay, a6. I played a6 here. a6 is just defending the rook. And the idea here is if knight takes, well, then pawn takes. And I'm completely winning. I also have this passed pawn. You know, I'm doing great here. I'm doing great. So he didn't want to deal with this at all. a6 was a brilliant move. And after a6, he goes queen to a3, attacking the pawn a second time here. I go knight e5. All right, so you can take or not take. Knight c6 is coming. And, you know, of course, if you end up taking this pawn, then my rooks are going to be very active. He takes, I trade queens, and then I go knight to c6. Now look at how my pieces look. Yes, of course, it's equal material. And there's one thing you want to understand about equal positions is who has the more active pieces. If you think of equal positions and who has more active pieces, generally, the person more active can have more chances, even in very equal positions like this one. So this is very equal, all the same amount of material, except my pieces are in black's territory. This knight's kind of off sides. We got a rook on the 7th rank. Your rooks are connected, but you don't have many squares with the rooks, right? Besides really c8. And I'm already attacking right now. So it's easy to go wrong here with the black pieces. So he goes bishop c5. I go rook to d1 with ideas of even doubling on the 7th rank now. He goes bishop to b6. Now there is a rook c8 that can be played, but if rook c8, I can end up, you know, taking one of the pawns here. So he goes bishop to b6, and now he wants to swing the knight around to c5. And here I was like, I don't really want that. I mean, my rook is like sort of trapped. I would have to go rook e7. So I go bishop d6. Now you can't really go here. I mean, you can, but it is going to give up some material. Rook c8 runs into knight e7, both of them, right? And his bishop is menacing. So not only, like, look at black's pieces, you can't really move anything. And this is where he went wrong. This is why it's important to try to annoy your opponent and like be active with your pieces and try to restrict theirs, because that's exactly what happened here. After bishop d6, he went rook e to d8. He literally said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to give up in exchange because I can't move anything. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I mean, it's understandable, though, because it's hard to make good moves here. The engine says, okay, just go knight c5 and hope for the best, which, you know, takes. That's going to be hard to do. Knight c5, right? Let's even look at it. Knight c5, bishop takes, and then I can go, you know, rook down to the 7th that we're here, which is super annoying. Like, dealing with this is playable. It's just hard to play. In fact, very hard to play from this type of position, but practically that is. So after bishop d6, he actually went rook e to d8, but now I'm already up in exchange right from here. So knight takes, rook takes, and you know, it takes some precision here, but I'm able to win from this position. So now let's try to see it. Rook d2. I went rook d2. I really didn't have to do this. Actually, I could have played rook d3 and defended it, Well, I'm rook d2. But rook d3 was just fine, in fact. So rook d2, and then I go king f1. I could have also moved the bishop around to b4 and even f4, stuff like this. h3 is a move. I just went king f1, bring the king closer to the center, and etc. Knight c5, right? So if you take, there's going to be rook takes d2. So I go rook b8. Get the rooks off the board, easy. Takes, and now I'm just up a whole exchange here. So this should be easy. We say should be because you need some accuracy still. So let's see what happens. He goes f6. I go f3, restricting the knight from e4. e5 played, bishop to d6 to take the knight. Knight e6, c4. I'm just pressing forward. I don't care. I'm ready to trade one of these off for the bishop. King f7. I go rook d5, or with the idea of c5. Then he attacks my rook. I move it away. Rook b5. Now c5 is going to be coming. He moves the bishop here. Cool. c5 anyway. King e6. So now if I go c6, he will take it. So I go rook a5, attack the pawn. h5. He wants to really try to be annoying. I just took the pawn. He goes h4. I go a4. Make another pass pawn. Now I have two of them. He goes knight e4. There's a check. Really don't care about it. So we push. He checks me. I go king e2. King g1 can be played, but there's problems with like knight check and stuff. So I just went king e2. He could take the pawn, which he does, but these pawns are just too slow. They're just too slow. So I push again. He checks me. I go king f1. He goes knight d5. And now find the move I played in this position. Now I made sure I looked at everything before I played this move, so you don't get hit with the fail button. You know that. Oh my goodness, he needs some milk, right? He needs some milk. Oh my goodness, be very careful on what you do here. You need to be sure before you make a move like this, but it's white to move. What do you play? What did I play? Here it is. The move I played is rook e7 check. So I'm giving up the rook. I'm giving up the rook, but imagine if the knight could take and still get this pawn. After rook e7, he takes, I go a7. He goes knight d5. He plays on for a little bit more. I queen, because there's no way to stop said queen, especially after this check. If you move the king, I'm going to push. No matter what you do, I'm pushing this pawn. So he takes, I push, I queen, I go king e2, and that is it. And there's a resignation, right? So we were able to win this game. Very nice round 4 game here in the Edmar Mednis Memorial, and with the Joe Bava London. This was like one of the very few times I started to play Joe Bava London. And as we go through the rest of these games, and even the next tournament too as well, where I played even more Joe Bava London, you get to see kind of an inside scoop of how I feel and emotions and games and gameplay, and even playing stuff from the Chessable course. Of course, make sure you guys click on the description, or click on the Chessable course in the description. That's having my first Chessable course, which is Joe Bava London. So this one, what I learned from here too as well, is after the c5 move, you know, I could take it. I could also play knight b5 too as well, but bishop d3 is not generally the move. It's actually g4. I should just kind of wait. G4. Bishop d3 gives me a little bit of problems with the knight coming to c5 and sometimes c4, but the bishop here is more flexible, sometimes even going to g2. So hopefully you learned something from this game. We're going to go over round 5 and try to do a video a day for you guys, and the slower ones, so you guys can enjoy the clips and the slower videos too as well. So I'll see you guys on my stream or whenever I see you on the next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.